Today on Paranormal Insights, we're going to explore healing from your wounds and learning to let go.
And we have a question from Deanna, who really wants to help her family heal, but isn't quite sure how.
And a quick look with Cynthia Levesque and recycled jewelry. I'm Joseph Ernest Martin.
And I'm Linda Potter.
And this is Paranormal Insights, where we bring you the latest and best from the metaphysical world.
Here you'll find real tools and insights to your questions as we bring you answers from beyond the ordinary.
Linda is a hypnotist with a specialty in past life regression and guided meditation, and the author of a wonderful new book, The Miracle of Self-Healing.
An award-winning psychic for over 20 years, Joseph Ernest Martin is author of the international bestseller, The Quest to Row, and recipient of the Visionary Award of Excellence. You know, healing from your wounds is a really tough thing. They come in all shapes, they come in all sizes, and sometimes we've brought them into this life, and sometimes they've occurred just recently. But whatever it is a wound, and trying to overcome that hurt is a big deal for a lot of us.
It is a big deal. And I see people all the time, all over the West Coast, who come to me who have been wounded, different levels of wounding, of course. Some incredibly dramatically painful, others more trivial. But the wounding feels the same, whether we judge it as trivial or as incredibly deep also. It's because I believe we're not really trained on how to release that painful energy or what that painful energy is really trying to tell us.
Yes, and our emotional quotient runs so deep. We have such extremes, don't we?
We are all wounded. It may have been the teacher that told us our project was awful, or the parent that chastised us for doing something they thought was wrong, or people making fun of us with rude comments. We all tend to take what we hear and see from others in a personal way. Of course we do. It feels like the pain is directed at us, and it becomes our pain too. This can be overwhelming. So what can we do to make sure that we are dealing with our issues and not the issues of others? First, we can dispel the energy that was thrust our direction. We can do this first so that we can clear our head and become more rational in our thought. We can do this by sitting quietly in a chair, feet flat on the floor, posture straight up, hands in our lap, and then start to empty our mind. Relax your body and imagine the energy that is causing all the trouble flushing out of you, going down to the center of the earth to be transmuted back into love energy. Some people use the technique of a grounding cord, but whatever you use, release the negative energy and free your body from its grip. Next, once you are calm, you can discern what is your part in the event or situation and what is their part. Figuring out the difference between your energy and their energy can be difficult at first. Try picturing a gauge in your mind. On one side of the gauge is the word mine, and on the other side is the word theirs. Imagine that the pointer is responding to the energy of the situation, and look in your mind. See where the dial falls. Try not to judge, just observe. See what your subconscious wants to tell you. And don't blame yourself if the pointer says mine. It just means that you helped co-create the situation. If the dial says theirs, you can release what is left of their energy that has attached to you and send it into the center of the earth. Try to release your own negative judgments about the person or situation. You can be sure that their own karma will come into play sooner or later. The universe is kind and repeats situations for us, so we can learn once and for all how to heal them and ourselves. I know what you're thinking. This sounds great, but what if the wounding is very deep or very painful? What can you do then? Deep emotional pain comes from our life experiences and, some believe, from past life experiences. It seems very hard to either let go or shake off the pain that may come from these past life experiences. Each time we revisit the thought the pain returns, and sometimes with more intensity than before. The emotion of the event or person seems absolutely real, and we relive the pain once again. It may be that forgiveness is now in order. So, first, forgive yourself. Remember that you are not perfect and that you don't know everything. You are learning here on the Earth School just like everyone else. Remember that you are trying your best and that sometimes you will fail, and that is all right. That's normal. Actively try to forgive the person or situation that harmed you. Remember that they too are not perfect and that they are learning their lessons for this lifetime also. It's hard to believe that the best someone else can do at times is cause great pain, but it's true. And yet, we must work to forgive them anyway. Consider these thoughts to help get you on your way to your self-healing.
In how we are, and when we get sad and we get wounded, we can really take ourselves south very quickly and very deeply. And trying to extricate ourselves out of that depth of pain is very difficult. And it depends the type of wounding that you have. If it's a loss, for example, the searing pain that comes with that is extremely challenging to overcome. Yet you know that within that window of grieving, there's going to be searing pain. And you just have to keep your sights set on the fact that you will come out of it. It may not be now, but to know and hold the hope that you're going to get from the depths of that sorrow to where you have the light of day again. Emotional wounds are often not as understood as physical ones. If you have a compound fracture in your leg, it'll be obvious to any onlooker that you're in pain and need of help. Seeing is believing. However, with emotional pain, it often doesn't show on the outside. A person with emotional pain often suffers in silence, with no one the wiser. Let's face it, there's no escaping going through life without feeling the occasional sting of challenging times and finding yourself emotionally wounded. And it's the wounds you suffer and overcome that become your badge of courage. The point is getting through the adversity as quickly and thoroughly as possible so that you can get on with the healing. There are tools to help you heal your emotional wounds. Here are 3 really good ones to keep in your back pocket. And the first one is to understand the lesson. The sooner you discover the lesson you're in the midst of learning, the faster you begin to heal. For example, if your wound came from being rejected, recognizing that rejection is something that you're in life to overcome is tremendously helpful. No matter how hard it may be, don't take the rejection personally. Rise above it. When you do this, you'll be amazed at how it makes letting go easier. The second tool is to change your perspective. The thing is, we cannot change what's happened to us. We cannot change what others think or do. What we can do is change our perspective. We can choose to see the positive aspect of our wounding as an opportunity for emotional growth. Where we focus, we bring in the energy. Bringing the energy into a positive aspect of the wounding will pole vault you into being free of the negativity. The third one is jump off the hamster wheel. When we have an experience that creates a wound within us, we find ourselves going over and over in our minds again and again if things could only be this way or that. Or we simply focus much of our day on the disappointment that we have about a person or a situation. We say, I should have done this or I should have done that. But don't should on yourself. That's the rotating hamster wheel of depression. It feeds the negative energy, and we're already dealing with making it seem huge. We're powerful beings, fully capable of healing our wounds better than anyone else. We need to look within ourselves for our answers more than ever. We've all got the tools to overcome the wounds that we sustain in this life. We've made it through other lifetimes. We will make it through this one.
And I don't want to trivialize anyone's pain because it is so real, and we feel it with our whole body. Sometimes we will shake with the pain. In the simplest form of looking at this, you could say that pain comes from when our belief about the world is not reinforced by the world. When our belief in the world is reinforced, then we create happiness. It's absolutely amazing. But when it is not in agreement with our beliefs, then we create pain or sadness or disagreement or discomfort or conflict. And so in the simplest of terms, and I know this sounds kind of crazy, the easiest way to become happy is to get in agreement with reality.
And I think, too, it's a case of keeping your glass half full rather than half empty. And it's not really a Pollyanna type of view where everything's roses and wonderful, but it's more making a concerted effort.
One of the best books on healing that I've enjoyed over the years is You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. She explores the body-mind connection and offers real tools to help you move forward on your own healing. Another great book for the spiritually minded is simply called Healing by Frances McNutt. This is considered a classic and foundational book on the subject. And a newer addition to the healing genre is Healing is a Choice: 10 Decisions That Will Transform Your Life and the 10 Lies That Can Prevent You from Making Them by Stephan Arterburn. Whenever we choose to heal and let go of the past, we move forward on our life path. Remember to be kind to yourself in the process. Treat yourself as you would a trusted and beloved friend. Say kind things, be mindful, and share your healing love with others. Do something kind for someone who has it much worse than you do. And maybe keep this thought in your head as you go forward. Everyone here on this planet loves me unconditionally. Some just have trouble showing it.
That when you start to feel yourself go backward in any kind of a wounded mindset, whatever that is, it's more negative than positive, to be cognizant of that, even give yourself a rubber band around your wrist and snapping it will get you to realize that you need to get yourself back up, because our minds are manipulated by everything that's around us. And one of the worst things that takes us south is the little thoughts that come in that say you're either not good enough, or brings in the thought of someone who made you feel bad about something. And that alone is enough to take you into a lower vibratory level, into a space that you're not going to be that happy with. So you have to be the one to recognize it, not anybody else, and pull yourself up from that and realize it's almost like a game.
I totally agree. And some people are even much more psychic sensitive to this than others.
If the issue that you're dealing with is a wounding of low self-esteem, whether it comes from a past life or it comes from an issue you've had in this life, there are two things that you can do to help yourself. The first thing is to know and to look into the mirror every day and tell yourself how very unique and special you are, because you are. And you need to start having that reflect back on you when you say it to yourself. And the second thing you can do is give yourself an affirmation, something to the effect of, with every step that I take, with every breath that I breathe, I will feel that I'm worthy in anything and everything in this world. Just doing those two steps is going to help you to pull yourself up and out of the silliness of having low self-esteem, because you certainly are unique and very special.
If you can raise that vibration up using some techniques like you just mentioned, you can start feeling the love energy that's also present on the earth all the time, the joy, the happiness, and the hope that is still present. And that can carry you through until you can process what it is that you've been through, either because of your situation or because of other people.
Yes, and I love the idea of using nature, using the earth, Mother Earth, to ground yourself. And when you are having a hard time that you're trying to get to the other side of, to be able to tap into her energy and ask for it to balance you, because it's in that balancing that's going to pull you up from this lower vibration where you've been, the sadness, and it's going to help you to look at things a little bit brighter. And the more you start looking that way, the easier it's going to be to keep climbing up higher and higher, and you won't have that devastating negativity that you're kind of like a mucky pool that you're sitting in.
And you can even use real elements that can help with that. You can use water to help ground that energy out of you. You can take your shoes and socks off and you can squiggle your toes in the mud of the earth. that can ground that energy, help get it out of you too. There is so much help on this topic that I am inspired that people are going to be able to help themselves through the painful episodes of life, because life does contain pain.
I couldn't agree more.
We're going to take a look at the amazing Cynthia Levesque. She takes recycled items and creates beautiful jewelry.
We're here today with Cynthia Levesque, who's got a very interesting product. She not only is using old-fashioned buttons to create beautiful jewelry, but she's also doing something very special with plastic bottles. And I'd like Cynthia to explain exactly what she's doing.
Well, basically, I'm making handbags that are made from recycled plastic bottles. This is one here. And I get the fabric from a mill in North Carolina, and what they do is they take plastic buttons and melt them down and make like a polyester thread, and from that they weave the bag, or weave the fabric, and from the fabric make a bag, or I sew the bag. Sorry, can we start over? I totally missed.
You're fine. You're fine.
Can we start over?
He'll edit.
Okay. So
Pick it up where you were.
So I get the fabric and I sew the bag, and they're incredibly durable because the fabric is made to be used as commercial upholstery fabric, so it's been tested for lots of wear.
And doing this type of product, how long does it take you to put together a purse like this?
Most of the purses take me an hour to 2.5 hours.
All right. And do you know how many plastic bottles it takes to make the thread to make a purse? Have you figured that out?
No,
yet?
that's a really good question. I have no idea.
Well, I think it's wonderful that we can learn ways. The factory in, is it North Carolina?
Yes.
Is very green, as Cynthia says. So they're actually making this product, the bottles, into the thread with the least amount of pollution. And that's such a good thing now. And it's really nice to see somebody making the most creative things out of plastic bottles. Now, is there anything else about this product that you'd like to tell our audience? Or
So like I said, I sew all the bags myself, and I put a lot of careful detail into each bag. Like this one in particular is fully lined with pockets, and I try to use a contrasting fabric on the inside.
And I will tell you firsthand, I'm picky when it comes to sewing, and this young lady does a beautiful job with her craft.
Thank you.
Cynthia, where does somebody get a hold of you if they want to order your product or connect with you?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm on Etsy, which is an online marketplace, and my shop is RubyBella21. So you can go to rubybella21.etsy.com, and they can call me. It's 415-385-0745.
You know, Cynthia Levesque had some awesome retail items to buy. And what I love about what she had was even the factory that made these items, even the factory was a green factory.
Well, you know, that's what makes it so wonderful, is to take things that other people discard as ugly or unwanted and transform them into something of beauty and value. Now that is working magic.
It's working magic, and the cool thing is that what she was making was not only unique and lovely, but very well quality, because I'm a picky girl and I turned those bags inside out and the detail was there. It was amazing. We have a question from Deanna, who really wants to help her family heal, but isn't quite sure how.
This year's been a really rough year for my family. We've had losses, and we're all kind of devastated. So I was wondering if there's a way that I can help my family heal.
Deanna, thank you so much for asking that question. We could feel the energy coming from you when you asked it about your family, about this devastating year. I've asked my guides to come in and talk to your guides, and let's see what they have to say for you about helping your family heal. The first thing I have to say, really, for you, is that the more you focus on your own healing first, the better this is actually going to be working out for you. I feel that you've put away some of your own pain here, and you set it aside, wanting to be of service to your family. The best way to start being of service to your family, helping them heal, is to show them by example what a healed individual looks like and share with them your process. I can feel the love from your heart pouring out from you toward your family at this time, especially because of the losses you've suffered. And my guides are telling me that the losses you have suffered have to do with family members who have crossed over. I want to tell you too that not everybody responds the same way to loss. Some become a little bit mean or kind of bad. And you just have to try to forgive them in that process, because we all handle grief and pain differently. Consider this time a new beginning for you, a new start. And come out from behind your role of service into showing them in a real way your process of healing. And that's going to help them a ton. I know you're going to feel like you don't really know how to do it, or you want to do it right so badly, you're not sure how to do it just perfectly. But I want to assure you that the way you do this is the perfect way. Don't worry. Your happiness in this equation is going to be a healing factor. Your happiness, your humor, and your joy. As they see you grow from this and leave your disappointment behind, they are going to follow you on this path of healing, and in such a beautiful way that this will inspire your family to new levels and new heights in an amazing way. Even though this seems like a painful period, and indeed it is, I want to remind you, this is growth for all of you, and you will all benefit from this family cycle of growth in ways you can't even predict. There's more happiness and joy on the way, don't forget that. The sun is still there behind the clouds, and it's going to be your sun for you and your family.
I think one of the hardest issues we face as humans is loss. No matter what spiritual philosophy one has, still we have to walk through the grieving. There's no escaping it. But there are some things that can help you to move through the grief a little bit better. And one of them is to be sure not to isolate yourselves during this very sensitive time. A little bit of that is all right, and it's to be expected, but be sure to get out among other people, even if it's a daily trip to the grocery store or some other public place. Simply having people say hello to you, or for you to say that to them, is a good thing. It'll expand your focus to other people in different surroundings, and the change in energy is going to be helpful to pull you up and out of the same sad thoughts. Remember the good times that you had with people you've lost. Think about how their influence on you has made a difference in your life, and know that they left this world how and when they were supposed to, no matter what the circumstances were, and that no amount of interaction on your part would have made a difference with them staying here or not. Oftentimes, after someone passes, we think of so many things we wish we would have said, or things we would like to say now. Well, they can hear us now, just as they did when they were in life. So anything you didn't get a chance to say, do so now, and trust that they've heard you, because they have. What I like to do when I'm addressing a loved one on the other side, right after their passing, or when the grieving is still in the process, is to light a white candle. And if I have a picture of them, I'll put the picture right next to the candle or behind it, and I'll focus on the lit candle flame, and I'll bring them to mind and tell them all that I didn't get a chance to while they were alive. I wish them well on their next leg of their journey, and when I'm done, I extinguish the candle knowing that they've received my wishes and words. And sometimes during this process, I'll be moved emotionally by a wave of their love that I'm sure is their way of showing me that they really are there. Time is the healer, and it will heal all of you. Breathe in between the tough places of the grieving, and know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, you'll get through this time and into one of brighter days.
You know, there's just no easy way to heal a family, to heal oneself. It happens by just doing it and doing the best we can.
Yes, and you hear it all the time, but really time is an important element with this. And also we have to realize that you have to get out there and you have to be around people, because if you don't do that, if you keep yourself holed up, you're going to find that the journey is going to take a lot longer. And it's painful to get out there and see anybody's face when you're in the midst of feeling that bad. But it's an important aspect.
And seeing other people's faces is actually a really good thing to do, because it reminds us that we're not the only one who is going through pain or going through a difficult situation. I really do love the idea of helping someone less fortunate, because it reminds us to be maybe a little bit grateful even in the midst of our pain.
That's true. And if you see someone that's having a really hard time with loss, or they don't look happy, best thing you could do is to give them a greeting, give them a big smile. It goes a long way.
Tonight is Linda Potter's last show with us. She's going on great new adventures. What are you going to be doing?
Well, I'm going to continue the research that I'm doing, of course, and I'm going to take that research and I'm going to use it in discussions in my radio show. We'll have guests on and we'll kind of hash around all of the stuff that I'm looking up.
Well, you know, I think that's going to be absolutely fantastic. You have a lovely voice. You have great information. This is going to be wonderful for you and for the people who are going to be listening.
Thank you. And I also need to thank you for inviting me to sit alongside you for all this time, and for you to share with me and for us to travel down this road together that has been totally incredible, this journey into television. And it's been very, very special, and it's been very wonderful, and I thank you for that.
Our pleasure. And I know all of us here, and even the people watching, wish you the best on your new endeavors and your grand new adventures. We're going to be watching you with excitement.
Thank you very much.
And be sure to watch us next time too. We're going to have a new exciting co-host, because we want to answer your questions. We want to discuss your topics. If you have questions you want answered or topics you want looked into, then let us know. I'm easy to find. You can find me at questtarot.com or Joseph at questtarot.com. And you can see this show on Comcast Channel 17 in the Sacramento area. You can check out details on accesssacramento.org and on other Comcast channels in the West Coast by going to betv.org, and now on AT&T Uverse on the West Coast. And be sure to watch our companion show, Paranormal Connection, with host Donna Wilberg. And you can also find us on Vimeo, YouTube, and Facebook. Just search for Paranormal Insights or Joseph Ernest Martin. And be sure to watch our new weekly series, The Magic Minute, where we bring you easy-to-use everyday magic to make your life better every Wednesday on Vimeo and YouTube, because it only takes a moment to make magic. And when you watch the videos, be sure to click like or subscribe. Share your questions and topics with us, because we want to share with you our paranormal insights and answers from beyond the ordinary.